still up in Mesa Valor. If you're watching in the future, this was a live stream on my last day in Las Vegas for about 2 weeks. You know me, if you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you understand that I travel between Las Vegas and Seattle quite regularly. And now is no exception to that. Going up there for 2 weeks. Yo! How's your vacay going? How's the vacay? I hope you're having fun. Where are you going? Greece? Italy? The Caribbean? I don't know. I just see the nice warm water and it looks like you're having a good time. So, congratulations on that. It's nice to have family with money. Case in point, my trip up to Washington. Mama paid for it. So I appreciate that. She is the best. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I'm headed up to Washington. That's going to be fun. Michael's like really into snowboarding right now, so I'm going to be doing quite a bit of that. What else are we doing? Man, I don't even know. Really just chilling. I have a test in Tacoma of all places. Long story there. God, what a long story. Long story short, it's the VA, man. The VA just is a train wreck. But we work things out, so I do have an appointment while I'm up there, which is far better than nothing. So basically, that's on the 23rd. When is that? Thursday? So basically, see Michael off to school, eat breakfast, and then head out. It's at 11. It's probably only going to take like an hour to get there, but, you know, I don't want to be late. So as long as I'm there around 10:30, I'll be happy. So yeah, so if I leave the house at 9:30, I should be good. So the snow's melted, from what I've heard, up there. So hopefully it's like that for most of the Seattle area, which it should be. But I do know it's going to be cold. It's going to be very cold. And I don't know, I just hope that I can get it all. I hope I don't freeze my ass off while I'm up there. So, because I'm not the biggest fan of the cold. I don't mind it, but the thing that sucks about it is that because living in Las Vegas as long as I have, I don't really have a whole lot of winter clothes. So I'll swing by Goodwill when I'm up there, probably pick up some thermals or something. Especially since we're gonna be able to out a lot. So I'm gonna bring 2 pairs of shoes. I'm gonna bring my boots and my shoes. Usually I just bring one or the other. I'm just gonna bring them both, so I have them. Because I always go up there with just the shoes or just the boots, and I wish I had the other with me. So this is going to be 10 times easier just to have them both. I'm home. Oh, dope diggity. Well, glad that you had safe travels. It's always nice to hear. Yeah, we had a good couple streams on Twitch while you were gone, which is, it's fine. You do your thing. Not necessarily like really up my alley. We haven't gotten back to the good old days, but that's because it's been so irregular since I've been able to have streams like that that audience is pretty much evaporated, which is, expected for these types of things. So give it time. Eventually that audience will find its footing again. Let's see. I like the bad relationship / life advice. That's just a title, but I think that the way that comes off, it comes off a very particular way. Anyway, trying to stay busy, trying to stay active, trying is the key word. It's a lot harder said than done, but yeah, it's very stressful. A lot of this stuff going on. A lot of things in my life right now are pending, which is a headache in and of itself. And speaking of which, I do have to make a phone call when I get home. I remembered that. I gotta call DAV and ask him a question about a particular VA farm. Headache. Anyway, aside from all that jizzy jazz, you know, whatnot, here I am, live, well is debatable depending upon the perspective of the word, but I am alive and kicking Sandys. It looks like it might rain. It's completely overcast today. I'm glad that last job I did is done, because that was a lot of work for not a whole lot of money. But, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I kind of blame that on IKEA, because they completely downgrade, like, value of what we do, you know? Hola, dude, what's up, brah? So what do you guys got going on? What do you guys do this week so far? You know, I'm just in a really interesting spot, you know? It's the beginning of the year. Just working Call of Duty. Oh, the new one? Have you played the new one? I haven't played the new one. I've heard mixed things about it. Some people say it's really good. Other people say it's just more of the same. Which, hey, man, it's like Call of Duty, like a lot of those first-person shooters that come out like on a yearly basis that have incremental changes. I mean, it's to each their own, you know? I mean, sometimes they're different enough to warrant having a new game. But I would say that the difference between, like, let's say Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, there are vast differences in both narrative presentation and gameplay that warrant a separate video game. All right, I will definitely say that. However, when you get something like FIFA 18 to 19, Madden 18 to 19, or even 19 to 20, they don't really change jack shit. I mean, really, all that changes is the players. And if I were EA, and it's a very rocky, weird thing, right? When you're like EA or something, there's so much money that's like involved with that, you know, having that license for the NFL. The most prosumer thing that they could do is like come out with a new Madden game every 4 years. Let's say, do it every 4 years. You have one game that comes out, bam, and then every year, you know, after the draft, you just do. You would be like an expansion essentially. You'd be like, oh, hey, for the updated roster for this year, for the new draft picks, the new lineups, and all the change-ups, pay $20, $30, and we'll implement the new players, all their stats and everything, one-time fees kind of thing. People will find a reason to bitch about it, don't get me wrong, but that's a lot better than charging $60 for a game when that's literally all they did. They just put out the same game, maybe a couple bug fixes, maybe, and then updated the roster. There's no change to any of it. Like, how can you change football? Football's been the same for decades. There hasn't been any crazy shakeups. You know, the physics of the real world have not changed since the dawn of time. So it's not like there's anything that, you know what I mean? It's just the whole thing's aggravating. Oh, look at your Ronnie, I believe. What's up? I caught your thing. This guy is really sketchy next to me. I'm trying to get past him. It's just, You having a good day? I'm having a day. Let's just say that. I'm having a better day now that I'm no longer at that job. So the people were nice. I mean, they were a lot nicer in person than they were like corresponding over the phone. Long story there, but they were a lot nicer than I initially thought they were. And I'm glad I'm gone because, you know, I whipped out that job as quick as I could. Not to say I did shoddy work or anything. I did everything I was supposed to, the way I was supposed to, properly and safely. But I finished it up as quickly as I could because it's a flat rate IKEA, and it's one of those assemblies where it really isn't worth all the work that entails for the amount of money you get. But I'm in a position right now, beginning of the year, it started off slow. I can't really be too picky about jobs right now, so I'm taking whatever I can get and just running with it until I'm in a position where I can be picky when work picks up a little bit more. Also, I fly to Seattle tomorrow morning, so because of that, I want to I want to make sure I can bank as much before I leave, because there are times where I'll go up to Seattle and I will work, but a lot of times I don't. There are times I go up there for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I don't get anything. So usually before I leave, I try to bank up as much work as possible to offset the possible cost of not having work. So fortunately, I'm at a level where I hit the bare minimum so I can pay the bills this month. So that's good. So I did enough work in Vegas in the month of January to just break even. So any other jobs that I get from now on, that'll help toss on as well. So looking at the positives and all that jazz. So hey man, it's all good. I always deal with crappy customers. I always deal with good customers. They're a mix. It really is. It's kind of like, say it's 50-50, but I think it's more so 70-30. I think that the good clients definitely outweigh the bad ones, but the bad ones leave such a sour taste in your mouth. And I don't classify these particular individuals as bad clients. It was mainly, once again, IKEA miscommunication. That's what it broke down to. Is that IKEA initially gave them really shoddy service. They didn't tell them about delivery windows, and there was difficulty invoicing initially when they bought the damn stuff and getting everything set up, just so the assembly could be done. And then when they finally reached out to me, they had told the client, that's it, you don't need to do anything else. So that when I hit the client, I'm like, yo, we need to kind of talk about this before I confirm anything. Then they get pissed off. We're told that it would already be taken care of. God, it's just, I get weary when I see them. Classify them as bad. I usually classify them as bad if the text experience is poor, and then when I get there, it continues to be poor. Dealing with them face to face, because how many hours do you work? Well, it fluctuates. I don't really work as much as I used to. I don't really feel very comfortable getting into the reasons why. But oh, come on, scam turn. There is the slowness of work, and I'm usually pretty picky about where I go and who I deal with. The number one thing that I have the most problem with is when customers hover I'm the kind of guy, I'm nice, I'm cordial, and I try to be friendly, but I prefer to literally go in the house, do the job, and leave. The less I can talk to the person, the better. It's a whole other rabbit hole to get into. And as far as hours, that, like I said, it fluctuates. They're historically, I'll give you a benchmark historically, because I don't have really anything to give you for recent. But historically, I've had weeks where I work a single hour. I've had weeks where I've worked upwards of 60, 70 hours. It changes because it's all based upon client demand. But the average for the history that I've been doing this is, oh yeah, definitely. So the average historically, it's roughly 35 to 40 hours per month. And you might think that that's, oh my God, that's ridiculously low. Well, when a lot of these jobs are flat rate, that, when if you get a flat rate booked for 36 hours, you're essentially getting 36 hours worth of pay, but you only do 11 hours worth of work. So it shows on your invoice as 11 hours. It doesn't show off of like flat rate kind of screws up the algorithm, screws up the math of it. So when you just work on and oh, foibles, come on, I'm in Vegas this Brown. I always it's usually like every month and a half, every 2 months I go up there for a couple weeks. I like to hang out with my family. I like to spend time, away from here. I mean, I got family here, obviously, but long story. But my son lives in Seattle, so I like to go up and visit him, hang out with him. And hi, foibles, how you doing? Oh, Tool Life. I don't think Tool Life is watching right now. But earlier I think it was this month. It was either this month or at the end of December, one of the two. But he had donated a super chat of $15 to the stream, which was much appreciated. And YouTube math, that like $15 something like that comes over to me on my end. So because of that one single super chat, I was able to meet the threshold this month. January is a slower month when it comes to monetization. Congratulations, buddy. I'm proud of you. So how do you look? Do you look night and day different? Have you trimmed up? Have you toned out? Have you just put on that military physique? I mean, it doesn't matter, but for me, I know that I was a scrawny little shit, and I bulked up through basic and AIT. Bulked up a lot more in basic than AIT. In AIT, we had better food, so we were allowed to eat more of it. So I went up a cup size. Plain butter for the first time. I'm loving it so far. I'm trying to kind of go back and forth on, because I don't own any console. Like Bloodborne, you know me, I love the Soulsborne series. I haven't played Sekiro and I haven't played Bloodborne, but I've played all the others. And super pumped for Elden Ring, man. That fucking, like, just the trailer alone. Oh, I want it. What's Elden Ring? What's this about? And From Software, they usually have a pretty good turnaround. From the time they announce a game to the time it comes out, I think it's like maybe 2 years at the max. Like, so they usually work on stuff well enough in advance. What up? Yeah, what up, HVACR vlogger? What's up, bro? Oh shit. It does, and it's just a like a minute and a half long, 2 minute long teaser trailer. It's like there's no information to go off of. There's no gameplay footage. It's just some cool looking blacksmith and some chick with the prosthetic robot arm. I'm leaving Vegas because I'm going to Seattle for 2 weeks. I'll be back, but I'm just going to visit family for a couple of weeks. Oh, trust me, yeah, me too, man. So anyway, so PlayStation Now is the thing, and I was looking at, because I don't own any home console or anything. I mean, I have a 360, but I have a 360 and a PS3. Not mine. It's the fake wife's. It belongs to her. So I do play games occasionally on that, but it's usually just Dark Souls 2 or Skyrim, or New Vegas. Those are the games I play on those consoles. But have you seen The Witcher? Yeah, of course I've seen The Witcher. Yeah, can I get a large Diet Coke and that's it? Yes, of course I've seen The Witcher, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I was an avid fan of the books. Then, I found out the games were coming out, and then the first game, I liked the presentation, I liked the characters, but I didn't finish the first game because I wasn't the biggest fan of the gameplay. So I didn't. The first one is, you like it because it's set in the universe, but you don't like it because it just wasn't for me gameplay wise. Assassins of King, I loved. I thought it was amazing. Played the hell out of it. Both paths. And then the Wild Hunt, never finished the Wild Hunt. That is a where you finally find her, actually. And then I kind of stopped. And the reason why, even though I love that game, is because of the main quest. So, like Skyrim, for example, took me forever to complete because as I was going through the main quest, I was also doing, different guilds here, there, side quests here, there. So a lot of the side quests and interactions and story stuff that I would get sucked into, and a lot of the side missions and side quests and stuff like that in The Witcher 3, they take quite a bit of time, especially if you're not mashing through the dialogue and you're actually paying attention, you're listening to the lore and all this stuff. It takes a while. That's my excuse for not completing The Witcher 3, even though I still think it's probably one of the better games ever made, strictly from a presentation and narrative standpoint. Gameplay wise, I still think it's really good. Even Assassins of Kings, I still thought the gameplay is evolved so much since the first Witcher game, but it does leave a little be desired. Like, for example, I love Dark Souls, fucking love it. It's amazing. The whole series is great. I've kind of just gotten used to the combat, like the control scheme. Not the biggest fan of the control scheme. I like I kind of grew up with like Devil May Cry and stuff like that, where a lot of the stuff you're doing isn't on the shoulders, on the face. But you kind of get used to doing a lot of your controls on the face. Right. And then utilizing the D-pad the way that you use it for inventory management on the go. What, a TV show or a video game? I don't really follow Digimon. See how the show's getting people into games that otherwise wouldn't be interested. Well, I know Henry Cavill. The moment that he found out that Netflix got the rights to The Witcher, he was automatically on the phone with his agent because he wanted to play Geralt. He wanted it so bad. Why? Because Henry Cavill, played the Hollywood star, whatever we see him in movies and shit. But this guy, Henry Cavill, he's a fucking nerd, man. He doesn't really have a gamer cave. His house is actually pretty small, but because he's hardly ever home, so he doesn't have one of those big mansions or anything. Because he's always, a lot of the stuff he shoots takes him away from home for extended periods of time. So, but yeah, he's got his own setup, and he's got a small setup in his house, in his living room, where he plays games. PC Master Race, too. Dark Watcher for PS2. I've never even heard of it. Thank you much. It's got thousands of hours in Witcher games, apparently. Well, let's see, 2 and 3? Yeah, you could probably put in a bunch of work. Easily hundreds. To say you've put thousands of hours into a game is... I mean, for a game like The Witcher, I don't know. I don't know about thousands of hours series. I would say hundreds easily. But thousands, it's going to get to a point where you're kind of going to exhaust the new things to find. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, I think over the course of my life, I've probably put 300 hours into that game. And a lot of that, because when I was younger, a lot of that time spent was learning the game and this, that, and the other. Whereas now that I'm older and have a better understanding of games, it doesn't take me as long to kind of figure shit out and transverse shit. You get better at doing games as you get older. At an arbitrary time tomorrow. Why? If work just so happens to fall in my lap, sure, why not? But I'm kind of just focusing on hanging out with my family. It's doable. You could say I put thousands of hours in Minecraft. Okay, yeah, you can. Especially if you mod a game, that can definitely extend the life of it. Like Skyrim, some of the gameplay mods really like elevate the game to where like there's a perk, I can't remember the name, it's got some weird long ass fucking name for this this one mod for Skyrim, but it changes up the perks, right? And so when it changed up how the perks are handled, it adds a lot of new gameplay features and does some refinements. Oh, of course I'm going to do live videos. Absolutely. It'll probably actually be easier to do live videos there than out here. Because here I can't really like, because up there I can set up in the living room and do live videos no problem. I can't really do that out here. You know, so I have to be shelled off in that closet. I have to be really... Oh yeah. And that's kind of like a Bethesda thing. It's like we're going to decades and decades all because of... People are still playing Morrowind because of mods. People are still playing Daggerfell because of mods. No one gives a shit about Arena. It's true. Fuck, man. Arena's rough. Like, going back to Daggerfell, you know, it's pretty easy. It translates to modern day pretty well. Going back to Arena, that's rough. Going back to Arena is extremely rough. Okay? That old DOS prompt, like, Might and Magic looking shit. So I'm the kind of guy, I don't like overhauls. I like them because it's all right there. But in my personal experience, overhauls, I've had a negative experience with it because overhauls, you know, they put so much in your system at once. It's optimized, but it may not be optimized specifically for your system. So I've had several different systems over the years, but every time I put in an overhaul, I then got to go through and find out which one of these one mods in here is making my shit work, you know. So I'm the kind of guy where I'll do the tedium of going through and figuring out what works between one and one, you know, instead of like just throwing it all at and then trying to troubleshoot. You need a patch for compatibility. Pretty much. So I got a bunch of shit to do. So I'm basically going to go in the house and do that now. Gotta get ready for tomorrow. So the plan is to go to bed early, wake up early, leave early. I was going to have the missus take me, but it's still relatively early. I don't want her to have to get up and get the kid ready and all that shit. So I'm just going to bounce, basically. I'm just going to, you know, probably around 8:30 earlier than that, 8 o'clock getting the Uber. I like to be early. Even though my flight's like at 9:30, I still would like to be there early. So I'll hit up the Uber. Yeah, it's like a 20-minute drive. Oh, wait. No, I gotta leave at like 7:30 because that damn traffic, man. I just remembered that. That traffic sucks. I remember it's a Tuesday. I usually have a flight at 6:30. This is the first one I've had at this time of day, so I actually gotta leave way earlier. Anyway, Mace Valor is home now. Oh, you're just now realizing that. Yeah, airports are, as you said, butt cheeks. All right. So I'm gonna bounce diggity. I love you guys. Thank you guys for dropping by. Y'all the fucking best. And I'll see you in Washington. As always, your oh so glorious beloved Mace Valor, signing off.